What's up? Welcome into your Daily Buckeye Blitz for Friday. Finally, freaking Friday, June 14th, 2024. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me. Hey, if you're excited about Friday, hit like, man. Please hit like on the video. If you're following on podcast, please follow the show. Give me a 5-star review, a review. You don't even have to type anything. Just give me some stars. Anyways, today we're talking about eight, let's call them 8 guys out of the 2 deep reserve players that are going to be critical to Ohio State's title run this year. Not starters, okay? So 8 non-starters. Excuse me. The expanded college football playoff is going to force head coaches to use their depth more than they ever have. They've set it up and down all spring long, all summer. So I've got a player who is not a starter, but will be critical at just about every position here. So let's get to it. Quarterback, right off the bat, Devin Brown. Will Howard is the presumed starting quarterback, of course. But if Howard goes down at some point, Ryan Day is going to have to turn to Devin. It might be for just a drive, just a few snaps, or it could be an entire game or multiple games. So the Buckeyes need Brown to play at a high level if he is called upon. Brown's a crucial piece to the season. It's not Brown's job to make, not just his job to make Howard better, but he's got to keep pushing Howard to improve and take his game to another level. Brown also needs to prepare like he's the starter every week. There's no more transfer portal, not till the end of the season, not till December. So you're in, stay all in. And Devin Brown has never been questioned whether he's in and his heart is in it. So Devin Brown's my first guy. Running backs, James Peoples. He's going to be very important. Ohio State had bad luck with injuries the last few years coming out of the running back room. In 2022 and 2023, Ohio State played 5 running backs. So they even had to move Chip Trayanum from linebacker to running back in the middle of the season back in 22. So no matter how they split the carries, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins will not play every snap for the Buckeyes. There's just no need to. So Ohio State's going to have to turn to James Peoples, the true freshman. Peoples could be put in a position this season where he'll have to be productive, not just go in and finish out a game to spin clock, but actually gain yards. So after a strong spring, he has the talent. We saw it, but he'll have to show up if called upon. Next up, this guy, been around a long time, 4th-year guy, Jaden Ballard. It's time for Jaden Ballard to show up on the field. He's the second most experienced receiver on the team. There are 4 receivers ahead of him on the depth chart, though. That's the issue. Brandon Ennis, Emeka Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Even Bryson Rogers is pushing Jaden. So Ballard was a 4-star prospect in that 2021 class. He was the 4th ranked wide receiver in the country in that class. Came out of Massillon, so an Ohio born and bred football player, but he just has 159 yards receiving and 1 touchdown over 3 years. Something has to change. He's got to be more consistent. Ballard can be a threat. With his speed, he can hurt defenses over the top. But if defenses load the box to slow down this badass running back group we got, then a guy like Ballard can really stretch the secondary. Think about J-Mo Williams back in the day. Not back in the day, but a few years ago. But anyway, so it's a dream for Chip Kelly and a nightmare for defensive coordinators. So it's time for Ballard to turn his experience into production, So tight end. Let's look at tight end. Jelani Thurman. We know G. Scott Jr. is your starting tight end. No questions there, right? But Thurman's athleticism, his 6'6" frame should give him a huge upside. He's already a talented pass catcher. He will just need to have a strong, consistent fall camp as a blocker. He's got to improve that blocking to stay on the field. Ohio State will always play multiple tight ends. We know that. But Thurman brings more versatility than other tight ends because of his freaky receiving ability. The Buckeyes will need to lean on more than just G. Scott and more than just the transfer Will Kazmarek. Thurman is the next man in, and we need to see him produce. Next up, O-line, Tiger Shabola. He's going to be very important. The right side of the offensive line has been a huge point of concern this offseason. Mostly the right guard spot. Shabola is in the running for that right guard spot, but he can also fit in at right tackle. Even if he doesn't start, Shabola will be a crucial piece of this offensive line because of his flexibility. It's possible that the O-line could be sorted out or won't be sorted out by the end of fall camp, but at least there are a few options, unlike last year, of course. So Tegra will get a long look at that guard spot. D-line, a guy that we really don't talk about is Mitchell Melton on the D-line. The Buckeyes will probably have the best two deep in the country. You got JT, Jack, Kenyatta Jackson, Caden Curry, but then Melton's been struggling with injuries his entire career. He didn't play a single snap in 2021 or 2022. He played just 63 snaps on defense last year. So he could get snaps as the Jack if Knowles is actually going to bring that back. He's recruiting kids for that Jack position. He's recruiting Justin Hill specifically out of Cincinnati for that Jack position. So if Mitchell Melton can get in there, show some good tape, some good film of how this Jack is going to work, he could be a weapon for the defense occasionally. Not every snap. This is not an every down situation, but at 6'4", 260, Melton has the flexibility and he has that quick twitch to be both a pass rusher or just a stand-up linebacker. So the coaching staff is always talking highly about him and his leadership and what he brings to the defense. So let's see Mitchell Melton get in there occasionally, maybe a handful of snaps a game. I don't know, 5, 10, something like that. So see what he's got. At linebacker, Sonny Styles. So he's not going to be a permanent starter, depending on the team and things like that, but who we're going against. But Styles played the most snaps of any returning safety, but now he's moving to linebacker, of course. So expect Cody Simon and C.J. Hicks to be the starters when the season begins. But Styles is too talented to leave on the bench. We all know that. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but Styles may be the most important piece to this defense because he's a strong run defender. He's super flexible. You can line him up virtually anywhere. He had 53 tackles, 4.5 TFLs from his safety spot last year. And Knowles loves having a guy like Styles down in the box where he can get creative with ways to use Styles at what might look like a Sam linebacker, but he's actually in coverage, like a strong safety, things like that. So with Sonny's athleticism, he'll be used to cover tight ends, and he'll be a beast blitzing off the edge. And that's the beauty of Knowles' defense and his creativity. You just don't know what it's going to be from down to down. So look for Sonny definitely to have an impact game to game. Next up, last guy I got from the secondary, Jermaine Matthews. So Burke and Hancock returning are the reasons why Jermaine Matthews is a second teamer. But Tim Walton will find ways to use Matthews. If a dime package is needed, it'll be Jermaine Matthews going in. If somebody gets injured, Matthews will be the first one off the bench. The good thing about Jermaine Matthews is that he's not just talented, but he also has gained experience. He played 184 snaps last year as a true freshman. That's huge. That just skyrockets his development, right? He had the pick 6 and 4 passes defended. He'll get playing time this year and then take over as a number 1 corner in 2025. You can be guaranteed of that. So his role is to make sure there's no drop off when he is called into the game this season. So Those are my 8 guys. Basically hit every position across the board. These guys are going to be key. You got to play depth, depth, depth. We've talked about it. So, and no longer what pair and a spare. It's you got to have 3 dudes, and these guys are going to be very important. So, that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.